Welcome to Visual Book Summary. Today, we're exploring The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, a dystopian novel that explores themes of oppression, identity, and resistance. Set in a totalitarian regime where personal freedoms are suppressed, The Handmaid's Tale offers a haunting vision of a world turned upside down by extremist beliefs. Stick around for the full summary, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below to share your thoughts on the book. Set in a dystopian future, The Handmaid's Tale unfolds in the Republic of Gilead, a theocratic regime that has overtaken the United States. The story begins with Offred, the novel's protagonist and a handmaid, as she reflects on her new life under a brutal, authoritarian government. Offred once had a family, a career, and personal freedoms, but all of that has been stripped away by Gilead's oppressive rule. Through her narrative, we are drawn into a world where survival is a daily challenge, and acts of rebellion must be carefully hidden. The Republic of Gilead arose in response to severe social and environmental crises, including pollution and a dramatic decline in fertility rates. Gilead's leaders, known as the Commanders, established a new social order based on a strict interpretation of the Bible, especially the story of Rachel and Leah. To combat infertility, they designate fertile women as handmaids, whose sole purpose is to bear children for the ruling elite. Other women, based on age, fertility, and obedience, are assigned roles such as wives, Marthas, household workers, or aunts, women who enforce Gilead's rules. Men occupy roles of power as commanders or guardians, with lower-ranking men serving as laborers and soldiers. This rigid hierarchy reduces all individuals to their utility within Gilead's oppressive system. As a handmaid, Offred's role is strictly controlled. She must conceive a child for her assigned commander, Fred, and his wife, Serena Joy. Offred's name itself is not her own but an indication that she belongs to the commander of Fred. This stripping away of identity and autonomy is a key aspect of Gilead's control over its citizens. Offred's every move is monitored. She is not permitted to read, write, or speak freely. Her only sanctioned social interactions are her daily shopping trips with Ofglen, another handmaid. These excursions are carefully supervised, but they allow Offred small glimpses of the outside world and provide her with brief moments of relative freedom. Through Offred's perspective, we learn about the oppressive conditions in Gilead and her memories of the time before. She remembers her husband, Luke, and their daughter, with whom she attempted to escape before being captured. These flashbacks offer a haunting contrast to her current reality and serve as reminders of the life and identity that Gilead has taken from her. They also fuel her desire to resist, however subtly, the oppressive constraints of her new existence. Despite Gilead's strict rules, the commander begins to meet Offred in secret, inviting her to his study to engage in activities like playing Scrabble, a game forbidden to women because it involves reading. These meetings blur the rigid power dynamics between them, adding layers of complexity to Offred's relationship with the commander. For Offred, the meetings are both an opportunity for reprieve and a painful reminder of her lack of agency. The commander does not see her as an individual with desires and fears, rather, he views her as an outlet for his own boredom and desire for companionship. Though she complies with his requests, she remains acutely aware of the dangers of these encounters. Each meeting reinforces her understanding that her survival depends on navigating the delicate balance of power in the commander's household. In these secret encounters, Offred gains small privileges, such as access to forbidden magazines and lotion. These minor acts of defiance against Gilead's laws provide her with brief moments of solace but also deepen her sense of captivity. She realizes that these gifts from the commander do not free her, instead, they serve to bind her more tightly to her oppressors, as each interaction places her at greater risk. Furthermore, the commander's wife, Serena Joy, grows increasingly suspicious, intensifying the tension within the household. Serena Joy's own desperation to have a child adds to this volatility, revealing that even those in positions of relative power within Gilead are victims of the regime's cruelty. Offred's outings with Ofglen become a lifeline as they provide her with a connection to the outside world. On one such trip, Ofglen confides in Offred that she is part of a secret resistance movement known as Mayday, which works to undermine Gilead from within. This revelation is both thrilling and terrifying for Offred. The existence of Mayday reminds her that resistance is possible, but it also comes with immense risks. Public executions, known as salvagings, are held regularly to punish dissenters, serving as grim reminders of Gilead's ruthless enforcement of its laws. As Offred's knowledge of the resistance grows, she becomes more attuned to the small acts of defiance occurring around her. She learns that even the small acts of kindness exchanged between handmaids, Marthas, and other women can carry deep significance in a world that denies them autonomy. This shared sense of quiet rebellion gives Offred a glimmer of hope, though she remains cautious, fearing betrayal or exposure. Offred's role in the household becomes increasingly precarious as it becomes evident that she is not conceiving with the commander. In a desperate bid to produce a child, Serena Joy suggests that Offred sleep with Nick, the household chauffeur, hoping that he might succeed where the commander has failed. This arrangement is risky for everyone involved, but Offred knows she has little choice but to comply. Her interactions with Nick evolve beyond their initial purpose, and she begins to experience a sense of genuine intimacy and connection that has been absent from her life since Gilead's rise. However, this new relationship adds further layers of secrecy and danger to her existence, as she is constantly reminded that even her private emotions can be weaponized against her. As Offred's involvement with Nick deepens, so does her awareness of the precarious nature of her survival. She is constantly under surveillance and lives in a state of perpetual fear, unsure of whom she can trust. The psychological toll of this constant vigilance is profound. Offred grapples with guilt, helplessness, and the haunting question of whether she could have done something differently to prevent the rise of Gilead. Her narrative becomes increasingly fragmented as she reflects on her life before and the ways in which her freedoms were gradually stripped away. The tension reaches a peak when Serena Joy discovers Offred's relationship with the commander, leading to a crisis within the household. At the same time, the resistance movement becomes more active, and Offred's involvement in Mayday deepens, though she remains wary. The novel's climax arrives when authorities come to take Offred away, leaving her fate ambiguous. She is escorted out by men who may or may not be part of the resistance, and she is left wondering whether she is being rescued or led to her death. As Offred stands on the edge of a precipice between compliance and resistance, her relationship with Nick grows more complex. What begins as a forced encounter, arranged to placate Serena Joy's desperation, transforms into an unexpected source of comfort and intimacy for Offred. This relationship offers Offred a rare glimpse of freedom, a fleeting sense of agency that she hasn't felt since her life before Gilead. However, the intimacy with Nick is fraught with danger and secrecy. She knows that any outward display of affection could lead to brutal punishment. Despite this, Offred finds herself drawn to Nick, yearning for connection in a world that has systematically stripped her of personal bonds. In many ways, Nick becomes both a sanctuary and a liability. Offred senses that their bond is genuine, yet the fear of exposure haunts her constantly. This relationship serves as both a quiet rebellion and a bittersweet reminder of what has been stolen from her, a sense of choice, love, and personal freedom. As their relationship deepens, Offred is acutely aware that even small displays of affection are risky. Their stolen moments together serve as both a balm to her spirit and a reminder of the fragility of her existence within Gilead's iron grip. Simultaneously, Offred's interactions with the resistance movement, Mayday, continue to complicate her internal conflict between survival and defiance. Ofglen's revelation about Mayday gives Offred a glimmer of hope, but it also places her in an excruciating position. She's keenly aware that engaging with the resistance could result in fatal consequences not only for herself but also for those around her. Offred's interactions with Mayday reveal the emotional and ethical tension inherent in resistance. She grapples with the risk of action versus the guilt of inaction, questioning what bravery looks like in a world where individual agency has been systematically erased. This internal battle reflects the larger moral quandaries that define life under authoritarian rule. Should she embrace rebellion and risk her life for a potential future that may never arrive? Or should she focus on survival, even if it means enduring the crushing monotony of compliance? Offred's reflections reveal a psychological struggle that goes beyond survival. It speaks to the essence of human dignity and the deep yearning for self-identity. The climax of The Handmaid's Tale comes as Offred's involvement with both the commander and Nick reaches an unsustainable level. Serena Joy's discovery of Offred's secret relationship with the commander pushes tensions in the household to a breaking point. Offred's precarious balance between submission and defiance begins to unravel as the danger she's been skirting intensifies. The commander's interest in Offred and the strained dynamics with Serena Joy heighten the risk of exposure, creating a suffocating atmosphere of suspicion and paranoia. Offred realizes she's trapped in an inescapable web, where every action has potential repercussions that could lead to her downfall. This moment of crisis brings the stakes of Mayday's resistance into sharper focus. The looming question, whether she will be rescued by Mayday or condemned by Gilead, highlights the ambiguity and terror of life under a totalitarian regime. Even as Offred is led away by authorities, she is left in suspense, unsure if her captors are allies from Mayday or agents of Gilead who will punish her for her indiscretions. The novel's ambiguous ending reinforces the precariousness of hope in a world where certainty is a luxury long forgotten. Through Offred's journey, Margaret Atwood captures the slow erosion of freedom and identity under authoritarian rule, exploring how small acts of rebellion, whether in the form of forbidden meetings, secret alliances, or quiet moments of connection, can become profound forms of resistance. The Handmaid's Tale remains a powerful exploration of resilience and the human spirit's capacity to endure, even when survival itself is an act of defiance. The Handmaid's Tale leaves readers with questions about Offred's fate and the future of Gilead. Margaret Atwood's novel serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of authoritarianism and the resilience needed to resist oppression. Through Offred's story, Atwood explores the fragility of freedom and the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. Thanks for watching, and let us know in the comments how this story impacted you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time on Visual Book Summary, where we bring the essence of literature to life.